Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our /justNoMIL. In today's episode, I'm a promiscuous woman who just showed her ass to my in-laws. FMIL has tipped me over the edge and I have moved out. It's finally over and I really should have listened and left when you all told me to. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I'm a promiscuous woman who just showed her ass to my in-laws. Here's a little snack. MIL is very concerned over my relationship with men that aren't my husband. I work for men. I'm friends with a few men. I see men on television sometimes, but her concern comes from two instances. One, my husband casually mentioned me hanging out with our neighbor who was a dear friend of mine and my husband's. 2, I told a work story and I guess mentioning a man's name is disrespectful to my husband. Anyways, MIL and FIL dropped by unannounced this afternoon. I'm in the bathroom. I can hear everything. I'm in underwear and thinking, oh, I'm trapped in here until they leave. I hear them getting comfortable and just chit-chatting. The following conversation ensues. MIL, is she too good to come say hi? DH, I think she's in the bathroom. MIL, are you sure she isn't at the neighbor's house? In a tone, of course. DH, yes, I'm fairly certain she's in the bathroom. Me from the bathroom, yes, I'm in the bathroom. Everyone gets quiet because I could obviously hear everything. MIL, well, did you fall in? You've been in there for a while. Roll my eyes, walk out of the bathroom in a bra and thong. MIL, oh. We'll go. You should have said you weren't decent. Bye. You should have said you were coming by, then maybe I would have been decent. You should have said you were coming by, then maybe I would have been at the neighbor's house. Congratulations, you have your own personal justNoMIL repellent. From now on, if you don't want them there, just accidentally wear a few layers less of clothing. Just strip down when you hear them coming and proceed to excitedly chase down your MIL for a big ol' warm welcome hug. I mean, you wouldn't want to give the vibe that you're too good to drop everything and come say hi to your favoritist people in the world. Maybe chase her out the door while you're at it. My evil twin often offers ideas that are emotionally satisfying to consider, but unwise to actually act upon. Sometimes the two of us come up with combined ideas that we're hard-pressed to determine whether it's an evil twin idea or a rat idea. Approach this suggestion with a great deal of caution, because it may be adding liquid oxygen to the fire between you and your MIL. What would your MIL's reaction be to asking her why she's so certain that a woman cannot speak of another man once she's married, without disrespecting her husband? Depending upon your temperament, you could simply let that question sit there in silence, or you could ask if there's something she wants to tell your DH about her own mistakes of the past. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is an evil twin idea. But it's interesting to contemplate, all the same. I'm the fellow ass flasher you mentioned and I love this story. I feel like this is a punishment for misbehaving in-laws that should be taught in schools across the globe. Nothing is quite as effective or satisfying. FMIL has tipped me over the edge and I have moved out. Just this past Friday, we had a situation in which I need to know if I'm being crazy because everyone keeps acting as if I'm in the wrong. For a little backstory, my FMIL used to keep a young kid a couple years ago, before me and fiancé had even met. She had kept this kid from age 1 to 2. The kid was her best friend's grandson, and FMIL doted on him and bought him things, but ultimately, my fiancé was the one who was usually taking care of the kid due to the fact that FMIL was off dating and going out with friends and whatnot. When the kid turned 2, FMIL's best friend stopped letting the kid stay at FMIL's house because FMIL stole and married her best friend's fiancé. They obviously fell out and then FMIL moved to another state for a year before moving back after she discovered her husband had surprise cheated on her. That about sums up the backstory. Getting on to recently, we had to move out of the previous house and into a new one because FMIL didn't pay her rent and got us evicted. So at this new house we have to pay even more than we did at the old one because it's more expensive since we have dogs. My fiance has 2 large winter dogs that are sweet as can be, and I have an old Chihuahua who is cranky and takes a while to warm up to people, but won't bite unless provoked. Now FMIL makes decent money working at a large company and makes $2,500 a month. Fiance and I make about $1,000 a month combined depending on how many hours he can get, while FBIL works in a factory and brings in about $500 more than me and fiance a month. The agreement at this new house was that FMIL would pay the rent, $1,000, and me, fiance, and FBIL would work together to pay utilities, $500 a month, and if FMIL didn't have enough for rent then we would help cover the rest. This doesn't seem like a lot, but fiance and I's car payment and car insurance combined is $650 a month, and buy groceries for the whole house, so it stretches us thin in terms of trying to save for a house. I come from a family where people who contribute have a say in the goings-on in the household. FMIL has been up on payments so far but still has to pay rent on the first and will only have enough money with 2 paychecks, and she has called in 2 times this past week already. So recently, FMIL has started becoming friends with her old best friend again because they work in the same place. FMIL hasn't stopped talking about the kid for about 3 weeks. Well, on Thursday evening I guess FMIL finally convinced her friend to let the kid stay the night, so FMIL called into work so she could keep the kid. She works nights, so when I get home on Thursday at around 8 p.m, I'm a full-time nanny for 2 young boys. We get out of the car and FMIL comes running out of the house and says, "Chihuahua bit, kid's name." Now, our dogs are crate trained and stay in the crates when we're asleep and when we're not home. When my Chihuahua is faced with an uncomfortable situation, he stays in the crate and doesn't come out. He will only bite if cornered or if someone tries to pull him out of his crate. So of course, I'm immediately very upset because my Chihuahua biting the kid means one of 2 things: 1, the kid tried to pull him out of his crate, or 2, the kid cornered Chihuahua and got bit. So my immediate reaction was, why would you let him out of his crate? Because she knows how he is. And she just looks at me and shrugs. Then fiance tells her that she needs to not call out anymore because we don't have enough money to make up for that much lost pay, about $400 that week, and she just huffs and says, "Are you all done lecturing a grown woman now?" We go inside the house and it is a wreck. Not only has this woman called into work, she has bought the kid toys and a video game more money out of the pocket. There were empty KFC wrappers all over the place and toy cartridges and a lot. I hate messes, so I immediately get started cleaning up and everything while they just sit in the living room where the kid plays his video game very loudly, shrieking in a high-pitched manner the way kids do. Now our house is only a 3-bedroom, so the kid was going to have to sleep on the couch in the living room, which is also where the dogs sleep. After cleaning up everything and putting my Chihuahua in our bedroom, I start getting ready for bed around 10 p.m. I work 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every day and have to get up relatively early to ensure that I'm not late. My fiance comes and lays with me, in which we talk and I tell him that he needs to talk to his mother about the kid staying here because having the kid is 1, a legal liability, especially when it comes to the dog bite, and 2, against our lease terms, no babysitting on the property. He said that he would talk to her about it. We don't fall asleep until 1 a.m. because the kid is screaming at the video game and it echoes through the house. The next day, Friday, I'm at work after having taken the older boy to his morning activity when my fiance texted me and said that his mom was taking the kid home, which I was glad about because personally watching kids all day and then going home to being around another kid is just absolutely exhausting. So I thought all was good and well. All was not good and well. I got off early on Friday, which is unusual for my job, but I went home and took care of dishes and cleaned up the blankets in the living room and put all the toys that the kid forgot in Fmil's bedroom, then go lay in bed for a nap. At around 4:30, I wake up to a kid yelling very loudly. So I get up and run to the kitchen where the kid has my dog cornered at the stove and growling, and my FMIL is chastising my dog. I snatch my Chihuahua up and go and put him in his kennel, and then I ask FMIL how long the kid was staying for. She said, "I don't know, why?" I didn't really want to cause a scene in front of the kid, so I asked her if we could talk in her room privately. Once in her room, I told her that I didn't think it was appropriate to keep this kid here, and that it was against our lease. This next bit will be easier in script form. FMIL, this is my kid name, and nobody can tell me I can't have him. Me, as a contributing member of this household, I feel that you cannot just make unanimous decisions for everyone and move a kid in. FMIL, I can do whatever I want, this is my house. Me, if this is your house then you can pay all the bills by yourself. FMIL, oh really? At this point she started to leave the room and I followed her saying, I do not want to live with a kid, this is not something you can just do. FMIL, I don't want to live with your dog then. Me, fine, I'll leave. FMIL, fine, that is your option. You can't tell me what to do in my house. This is what I want to do and I don't have to talk to anyone before doing anything I want to do. Me, you always do what you want to do. You never think of anything but yourself and what you want to do. After that I packed up my bag and my chihuahua and drove over to my parents' house, only about 15 minutes away from the new house, and called my fiancé, he was at work, to let him know the situation and tell him we could talk more about it after work. Fiancé talked to FMIL about it and she said that she would only keep the kid on the weekends, which sounds like a compromise, but weekends are my only time off. Fiancé works weekends. And dealing with a kid and having to confine my dog and myself to my room because the living room is being monopolized by FMIL and a kid that is of no relation to us that she hasn't even seen in years is not a compromise to me, and even if it were, FMIL is a liar and will likely call her at least once a week to keep kid on a weekday despite everyone having to work early. Ever since then I've been staying at my parents' house with fiancé coming and seeing me every now and then. Fiancé and his grandma, who found out because FMIL doesn't know anything about private matters and has to blast drama to anyone who will listen, keep saying that I just need to move on and that's just how FMIL is and you just have to mind your own business and not let it bother you, which is frustrating to me because I feel like my feelings are being invalidated. This is a big deal to me and everyone is just acting like I'm being ridiculous. I know that I could have probably handled this situation a lot more graciously and that I did lose my cool a bit when talking to FMIL, but this is honestly just the frosting on the shit cake with me. In whole truth, FMIL is like a roommate I can't stand, irresponsible, messy, rude, and selfish. She doesn't care about anyone but herself and never takes responsibility for her actions. I have told fiancé that this is about more than just the kid staying over for me, it's about the fact that she just does whatever she wants without even considering anyone's feelings about it, and I'm done being treated like my feelings don't matter. But after listening to fiancé and his grandma continually tell me to just let it go, I am now here to ask if you think I am overreacting too? First off, she probably will not make next month rent because of the kid. Stop being roommates with her. Frankly, I would move back in with parents, if they are okay, and save up. Go to therapy and decide if you want to marry a rug sweeper who cares about his mom's feelings instead of yours. And stop paying any bills cause it's her house, don't you know? Yeah, I've already determined that I'll be staying with my parents. Unfortunately, I can't go to therapy because I can't afford health insurance and make too much to qualify Medicaid. But I definitely do have a lot to think about. To piggyback off the other comment, if any bills are in your name, I suggest you turn them off before you vacate. I didn't put any bills in my name, they're all in fiancé's name and we pay into them. Stay at your parents if you can. You and FDH sit down and make a short-term and long-term plan. Each of you should consider what careers you're interested in, how to start preparing for them. $12,000 a year combined income won't work for any type of independent life you both would like. I can't believe a full-time nanny job is paying so little. It sounds like you're making less than U.S. min wage. Someone who works with kids all day of course wouldn't want to be babysitting on the weekends. And MIL is risking animal control being called on your dog. She put that child in danger, twice now. But with her paying the rent, it will be hard to get her to see all of you as equals. It's finally over and I really should have listened and left when you all told me to. I posted back in either June or May about my FMIL and her surrogate grandchild. All the advice then told me to just straight end it, and I obviously should have listened then, but better late than never. Things had been going okay for a while. I got a second and better paying job, now I pull in about $1,400 a month by myself, and while it's not great money, it's much better than what I was making. I had talked with FDH about how if another situation like that had ever happened, I would need to know he's by my side. That I understood family was important to him, but if he was choosing to be with me, I wanted him to actually choose me. Our talks went over okay. I had moved back in and things were okay until yesterday. After FDH and I got off work yesterday, we went home and sat on our bed to decide what we should do for dinner. FMIL was getting ready to go to work, and I thought she would just leave and it's whatever. But no, she stopped in and said, I think we should all have a dinner day where we have to make dinner, and if we don't want to make dinner then we have to buy everyone food. From here on out, the conversation will be in script form. FDH, I don't think that's a good idea, it wouldn't work. I think everyone should just buy their own groceries. Me, I agree. FMIL, that's stupid. Why would we do that? FDH, there's no groceries in this house. There's no groceries in the house because I didn't buy any this week. Me, yeah, when you and FBIL go to the store, you don't come home with any meal food, you just come home with a couple vegetables and a pound of meat and that doesn't last. FMIL, I buy all the groceries. I just bought groceries. Cantaloupe, watermelon, and a bottle of pop. Me, but you really don't though? You don't buy enough for meals for a week. FMIL, I spend $100 every time I go. You act like you do shit at this house. Now, I'm not going to lie, I definitely lost my cool. I have put up with so much shit. Me, are you joking me? I've literally done almost everything in this house. When I moved in here there was a pile of dishes that had been there for months, you had dirty laundry everywhere. I literally cleaned your whole room for you last month. I cleaned your room, and you're a 50-year-old woman. FMIL, walking to her room whatever you don't do shit. That why you choose a dog over your fiancé. Me, following her, I choose a dog over my fiancé? You want to talk about choosing? Because let me tell you, I'm not going to take this shit from someone who continually chose men over her own sons and cast them away to her mother's house for years. You don't have anything to say. FMIL, excuse me? Me, you have treated your sons horribly. You literally sat down on the couch one day and told them that they run your men off when the truth is that you choose shitty men. How about when you told FDH to put the Sprint bill in his name and then didn't pay it? FMIL, I was paying it. Me, you stopped paying it and now it's going to default and go on his credit score. FMIL, well, what were you paying for? You weren't paying. Me, it wasn't my phone, why would I pay for it? FMIL, you weren't doing shit to pay it. Me, and what about when you asked FDH to put the electric bill in his name and you would pay it, and he put it in a prepaid account and you told him he was a terrible son, and said all these awful things to him? FMIL, FDH, did I ever tell you you were a terrible son? Me, I read the texts FMIL, and you know exactly what you said. It's also shitty how you yell crap about FBIL about not paying his bills when you don't pay your own bills. He's literally doing what you raised him to do. FMIL, whatever. You can't talk to me like this. I'm going to call your dad. Me, oh, you're going to call my dad? I don't know what you think you're going to accomplish because my father raised me to not take shit from people and defend myself. So go ahead and call him. FMIL, FDH, are you going to let her talk to me like that? FDH, I'm trying to get you both to stop. FMIL, to me you're nothing. Me, I'm nothing? You're a 50-year-old reject who gets evicted from everywhere you live because you can't pay your bills. FMIL, get out of my face or else, side note, was not in her face. Me, or else what? You're going to hit me like you hit your sister? FMIL, oh, you think I won't? Get out of my face. Me, okay, go ahead and take that assault charge. You are not a bad B** TCH, you just don't know how to handle interactions like an adult. FMAL then lunges at me and FBAL pushes her in her room and closes the door while I go back to my and FDH room to pack my stuff. She's trying to get out of her room, literally shaking the entire house like a caged animal or something. FDH helps me pack. I tell him this isn't going to happen again. There is no neutral ground in this situation, you're either on my side or not on my side. And if you're not on my side, then I can't stay with you. We take my things to my parents' house, though I still have some things to get, and he leaves, and is still contemplating, but I know that we are breaking up because he is too rooted in family and there is no coming back from this. But there's still more. FMAL then Facebook messages both my stepmother and father, saying that I said they raised me to be disrespectful. Stepmom's reply, "How dare you? I have raised this child over the years with my own blood, sweat, and tears. Under no circumstances should an adult ever call another adult a WH*re or threaten to hit them. That is not how adults act. I see now what type of person you are. I will pray for you." My stepmom then blocks her. Dad's reply, "I don't know why you're messaging me. My daughter is an adult and I don't get into her business. I know how I raised my daughter to be and I know she doesn't lash out at people." So that's all, folks. Thanks for being here when I need you, and I'm sorry that I didn't listen when I should have. I really appreciate this sub and all the validation and support it has shown me. Luckily this will be last my post because I'm not joining this family after this incident. I'm sorry you had to go through all that. I'm really glad your parents have your back, those are stellar responses. You have such a strong spine. It's going to serve you well going forward. If you decide to date again, I know you'll pick a partner who understands good boundaries. You'll have that as a takeaway, at least. My parents are excellent. They'll always have my back, and I'll always appreciate them for it. And thank you. I didn't always, but I've definitely learned to stand up for myself. Hopefully whenever if I start dating again I can find somebody great. I'm sorry that it's ending this way, and I hope he finds a way to get out of the toxicity, but good on you for not putting up with this and sticking to your limits. I hope he does too. His family is so close-knit that they all just put up with it. I hope that one day he can see that just because someone's family doesn't mean you have to let them treat you like that. Good for you for standing up for yourself, and for your dad and stepmom too. Your FMIL really showed herself. If FDH cannot see the truth and stand by you, then you clearly are making the right choice to leave him, as hard as it is. Good luck. Thank you. You know, you tried your best and you can be confident that if this would have worked out, you would have made it work. But he just wasn't committed or ready for an adult relationship, and that is seriously his loss. I'm so sorry for the pain and stress you're going through, and I'm happy for you that you've freed up your future for healthy, loving, and respectful relationships. Thank you very much, Redheart. Big validating hugs to you. I'm so sorry that things ended this way, but I am also so glad they did end this way. Learning and recognizing how this will be your life if you marry is so important. You stood up and declared you are better than that, you have respect for yourself, and you will not be beaten down. We are all so very proud of you. I know the coming weeks and months will be hard. Just remind yourself you deserve to be treated with respect and protected by your future. So, a marriage is a team, you can't do all the heavy lifting and expect to succeed. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.